Friends, have you ever caught yourself falling into certain patterns? Those little daily habits that, deep down, leave you feeling, well, a bit less joyful, or perhaps just a touch miserable than you used to be. As the years gracefully roll on, it's incredibly easy for us to settle into familiar routines, sometimes without ever fully realizing that some of these very habits might actually be quietly steering us away from true contentment. These aren't always glaring errors, you see. No, these are often subtle, everyday choices, often disguised as just a part of getting older, that can slowly but surely chip away at your happiness, weaken your sense of purpose, and even create a painful distance from the people you cherish most. Believe me, each one carries a hidden, often heavy, cost to our overall well-being. But here's the wonderful news, and it's something I've seen work miracles in my years of practice. Simply recognizing these pitfalls is the most powerful first step toward reclaiming your inner peace and lasting happiness. That's why, in this video, we're going to lay bare 4 of the most common, yet entirely avoidable, mistakes I've witnessed countless older adults make. So, please, stick around until the very end. Because not only will you discover how to steer clear of these traps, but I'll also share how making just a few simple, practical adjustments can profoundly improve the quality of your daily life, no matter your age. And frankly, as someone who's had the privilege of walking alongside countless individuals through their golden years, I can tell you, some of these insights might just surprise you, offering a fresh perspective you haven't considered. Before we dive in, I truly want to know how many of you have faced this. If what I just shared feels familiar, please comment a simple yes below. It shows me you understand, and it shows others they are not alone. Okay, let's get started. 1. Neglecting meaningful connections. The very first mistake that I see far too many older folks making, often without even realizing it, is letting their social ties weaken. They mistakenly think it's just a normal part of getting older. You might find yourself telling yourself, well, people naturally drift apart, don't they? Or perhaps, my family members are just too busy with their own lives these days. Or, my old friends are simply too wrapped up in their own worlds to bother with me. At first, it might seem harmless enough. Maybe you get used to spending more quiet evenings alone, or you notice yourself going days, sometimes even weeks, without really reaching out to anyone. But here's the core why it's so dangerous, especially as we age. This isn't just a minor inconvenience. Over time, this slow, silent withdrawal gradually erodes your deep sense of belonging and your very purpose in ways you might not even notice until that heavy, aching feeling of loneliness truly sets in. The truth is, meaningful relationships, real connections with other people, are just as vital at 70 or 80 as they were when you were 25. Yet, in my experience, it's all too common for people in our age group to assume that making new friends just isn't worth the effort, or that old friendships have simply run their course. Think about the symptoms. That quiet ache in your chest, feeling invisible, wondering if anyone would even notice if you just disappeared. These are powerful signals. When you stop calling old friends, miss out on family gatherings, or convince yourself that no one truly wants to hear from you, you're not just losing company. No, you're losing vital support, shared memories that bring warmth to your heart, and those precious chances to laugh, reminisce, and keep growing as a person. And don't just take my word for it. Research consistently shows that strong social connections don't just lift your spirits and make you feel better. They actually boost your physical health, help keep your mind sharp and keen, and can even help you live longer. Remember, loneliness isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's a very real health risk, just like eating poorly or not getting enough exercise. I remember a kind gentleman named Arthur, a retired teacher in his late 70s. After his dear wife passed, he spent most of his days puttering around the house, rarely picking up the phone. He just figured folks would reach out if they wanted to see him. But weeks slipped into months, and eventually, he found himself feeling so invisible, truly wondering if anyone would even notice if he just disappeared. It wasn't until a wonderful neighbor, bless her heart, gently insisted he join a weekly breakfast group at the local diner that things began to turn around for Arthur. That one small step, simply showing up, slowly opened the door to new friendships and a sense of belonging he hadn't truly felt in years. So here's the real talk. It's easy to think, oh, I don't want to bother anyone, or it's just too late to make new friends now. But that, my friends, is simply not true. No matter your age, you deserve to be seen, to be heard, and to be valued. Picking up the phone, joining a club at the senior center, or even just sharing a meal with your neighbors. These are not just pleasant activities. They are truly life-giving. Don't fall into the trap of thinking isolation is inevitable for you. Your social circle might change, yes, but its fundamental importance to your well-being never, ever does. The next time you find yourself hesitating to reach out, remember this. Staying connected isn't just a way to pass the time. It is a fundamental pillar of happiness and resilience, especially as we gracefully navigate our golden years. 2. Ignoring physical and mental health. Now, there's a second mistake that I often see quietly slipping into people's lives, sometimes masked by the gentle belief that slowing down is just part of growing older, and that's neglecting your physical and mental health. It's not at all unusual for older adults to start putting off those routine doctor's visits, maybe skipping their daily walks, or just letting old aches and pains go unchecked, assuming they're just normal. Perhaps you find yourself thinking, well, I'm just not as young as I used to be, or that stiff knee. Oh, that's just a part of aging. But before you know it, a simple bit of stiffness becomes a perfectly good reason to stay put in your favorite recliner, and those quiet worries about your memory start to subtly chip away at your confidence. Let's be completely honest with each other. After decades of hard work, raising families, and caring for others, it's incredibly tempting to think you've earned a little rest. And you have. But rest, dear friends, should never, ever mean giving up on your health. Here's the core why. The reality is, our bodies and minds actually need just as much, if not more, attention in our later years as they did when we were young. Skipping routine checkups, avoiding exercise, and ignoring those little symptoms. These are mistakes that can absolutely rob you of your energy, your mobility, and your precious peace of mind. What begins as a little neglect often snowballs into bigger problems, until suddenly you're facing significant health issues that, truthfully, could have been prevented or much better managed. It's not just about the big things, either. Everyday choices, like what you choose to eat for breakfast, whether you make a little time to stretch each day, or if you take a brisk walk after dinner, all add up over time. And when it comes to mental health, I know many older adults still believe that talking about stress or sadness is something to be embarrassed about. Maybe you grew up in a time when you were taught to keep your troubles to yourself. But today, we truly know better. Mental well-being is just as crucial as physical health, and ignoring it is one of the surest ways to quietly slip into misery. I often think of Eleanor, a vibrant woman in her early 80s who, after retiring, started feeling a bit down. She gradually stopped going to her weekly bridge game, began sleeping in more, and didn't really notice how much her energy and mood had dipped until her daughter, gently and lovingly, encouraged her to have a conversation with her doctor. That simple chat, just opening up, led to some wonderful counseling sessions and a brand new, achievable exercise routine. And soon, Eleanor was back to her lively, joyful self. That's living proof, isn't it? A little attention to your mind and body can make all the difference in the world. When you ignore your health, it's not just your body that suffers. Your whole life seems to contract. Movement gets harder, socializing becomes a real challenge, and it's easy to slip into a pattern where you expect less and less out of every single day. The mistake isn't in getting older. No, the mistake is in believing that declining health is your only option. Even small, manageable steps like taking a daily walk around the block, reaching out when you feel blue, or staying up to date with your checkups can powerfully protect your freedom and keep you feeling more like your true, energetic self. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you subscribe and turn on that bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Your support truly helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. 3. Clinging to regret and resentment. If there's one mistake that I've seen insidiously poison the spirit, it's holding on to old regrets and resentments. Over the many years we live, everyone, every single one of us, gathers our share of disappointments. Those choices you wish you'd made differently, relationships that didn't work out quite as you'd hoped, or moments when you felt you let yourself or someone else down. It's only human to look back now and then, to reflect. But many older folks, sadly, fall into the trap of replaying those same old stories of regret over and over, letting them quietly color every new day with bitterness or a deep sadness. Before you know it, This habit can begin to drain all the joy out of life, leaving you feeling utterly stuck in the past. Now, what makes this mistake so insidious, so sneaky, is that it often feels almost justified. After all, you've lived a long time, and you've certainly seen a lot. Maybe you genuinely feel you've been wronged, or perhaps you made decisions that truly haunt you. It's tempting, isn't it, to think, if only I'd done things differently, or I just can't forgive what happened. But here's the profound truth. Carrying those old resentments and regrets doesn't change the past one single bit. All it truly does is steal your precious peace in the present moment, making it harder to see the beauty and possibility that still lie ahead of you. You see, as we get older, the stories we constantly tell ourselves become incredibly powerful forces. When you replay past hurts, it's almost as if you're choosing to live them over and over again. That pain can manifest in your mood, it can even affect your physical health, and it can certainly strain your relationships. Sometimes it might even feel easier to hang on to those old hurts than to risk opening up again, or forgiving someone. Or perhaps, even more importantly, forgiving yourself. But letting go, my dear friends, is not a sign of weakness. No, it is a clear sign of profound wisdom. It truly frees up space in your heart for new experiences, for new joys, and for a kind of quiet, resilient strength that only comes from deliberately choosing peace over lingering pain. Let me share the story of Walter Adams, a kind gentleman in his early 80s who always seemed to carry a bit of a cloud around him. After losing touch with his brother decades ago over a family dispute, Walter spent years replaying that old argument, thinking of all the ways he felt he'd been wronged. Every holiday, he'd grow quiet and withdrawn, not fully realizing how much this old, festering wound shaped his daily outlook. It wasn't until he decided to write a simple letter, not to argue, not to rehash the past, but just to say he missed the good times they once shared, that things truly started to shift for him. That one powerful act of letting go, even if it didn't magically fix everything, helped Walter feel so much lighter, more open, and truly ready to find happiness again in his everyday life. Holding on to regret and resentment, you see, is truly like carrying a heavy sack everywhere you go. It wears you down, body and soul, and it keeps you from fully embracing the richness of the present. It might feel impossible to forgive or to simply forget, but the truth is, every single day offers a fresh chance to choose joy over bitterness. Whether it's a difficult conversation you know you need to have, a painful memory you need to reframe in your mind, or simply a conscious decision to stop punishing yourself, letting go can absolutely transform your entire outlook and your life. You've lived long enough to know that life is full of ups and downs, and nobody, absolutely nobody, gets it all right. The real wisdom, the true wisdom, is in choosing to lighten your load, to give yourself and others grace, and to lovingly turn your attention to what you can still savor, what you can still create, and what beauty remains. In the end, forgiveness and acceptance aren't gifts you give to others. No, they are truly precious gifts you give to yourself, making ample room for more peace and profound happiness as you continue to move forward on your journey. 4. Refusing to adapt to change. Another mistake, and one that can quietly but surely lead to misery as we age, is the firm, stubborn refusal to adapt to change. It's incredibly easy, isn't it, to fall into that mindset that what worked perfectly well for you 20 or 30 years ago should absolutely still work now. And there's certainly a comfort in sticking to those familiar routines and beliefs that once felt so reliable, so predictable. But life, as you well know, is always moving, always shifting, and constantly bringing new challenges our way. When we dig in our heels and resist those changes, whether it's new technology, evolving relationships, shifts in our own health, or even the way society itself operates, we risk becoming isolated, frustrated, and painfully disconnected from the vibrant world that continues to spin around us. This mistake often shows up in small ways at first. Maybe you feel a bit bristly when someone gently suggests using a smartphone instead of your old landline. Or perhaps you're quick to dismiss a new medical treatment because it just feels unfamiliar or too modern. You might feel a little out of place when the grandkids start excitedly talking about social media, or find yourself reflexively saying things like, "Well, in my day, things were certainly better." There's absolutely a comfort in the familiar, and that's understandable. But clinging too tightly to the past can, regrettably, close you off from wonderful opportunities, fresh ideas, and enriching connections that could actually make your life much, much richer and far more interesting today. You've probably met someone like Dorothy, a bright and sharp woman in her late 70s who spent years absolutely refusing to touch a computer. Because of this, she missed out on countless emails and photos from her loving family, struggled to manage her finances efficiently, and often felt so left behind every time her friends talked about video calls or sharing online pictures. For the longest time, Dorothy truly believed she just wasn't cut out for all that newfangled stuff. But after her patient daughter spent a few kind afternoons showing her the ropes, Dorothy, to her delight, discovered a whole new world. She started sending joyful messages to old friends she hadn't connected with in years, learned how to order her groceries online for home delivery, and even picked up a brand new hobby, watching painting lessons on the internet. What once felt scary or utterly pointless became a wonderful lifeline to community, to creativity, and to pure fun. The truth is, my dear friends, the world isn't going to stop changing just because we might prefer the old ways. And while it's perfectly natural to feel a little uneasy about new technology or shifting social norms, resisting change doesn't truly protect us. Instead, it often makes life harder, more frustrating. Every single day, there are new tools, new ideas, and new possibilities being designed to make our lives better, easier, and more connected. But we can only truly benefit from them if we're willing to take that very first step, however small or tentative it may feel. Refusing to adapt isn't just about technology or gadgets. It can also show up in the way we think about our health, our relationships, and even our own profound sense of purpose. Maybe you've always managed things a certain way, but your health needs have changed, or your family dynamic looks different now than it did before. Perhaps there's a new, exciting way to connect with your neighbors or stay active and vibrant in your community. The key, the real secret, is to approach each new challenge with a spirit of genuine curiosity rather than immediate fear. When you stay open to learning, to growing, and to trying something new, you keep yourself deeply engaged with life, and you powerfully remind yourself that you are absolutely never too old for a wonderful new beginning. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you subscribe and turn on that bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. So now, as we wrap up, we've explored these 4 critical areas that can truly transform our golden years, making them shine so much brighter. But knowledge, as I always say, is only truly powerful when we put it into action. So now, my friends, I have one important question, just for you. What is the one commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video? It could be as simple as, I will call an old friend this week. Or perhaps, I will schedule that checkup I've been putting off. Maybe even, I will try to let go of one old grievance today. Or, I'll finally learn how to send a text message to my grandkids. Please share your personal commitment in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to take that very first, courageous step. And if you found real value and inspiration in our time together, truly, show your support by giving this video a like. It means the world to us, and it helps these important messages reach more people who need them. To ensure you continue on this journey with us, and never miss another video full of life-changing wisdom, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a warm, supportive community dedicated to living our absolute best lives together. Finally, think of just one person who truly needs to hear this message today, and please, share it with them. You might just plant a seed that changes their life for the better. Thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay wise, and I'll look forward to seeing you in our next video.